Good day, guys and girls. Welcome to another episode of Chilling with Black Queen. Our topic for today is divorce. We want to talk about divorce today. What divorce is, how it affects people, who is affected, how we get to divorce, what happens, what causes people to divorce. With me today, I have a guest who is, he likes to smile. He's smiling even now, like guys and girls. Our guest is a pastor. He's a gospel singer. He has traveled the world. One of the places he enjoyed staying in was Ireland. And he has been married. He knows exactly what we are talking about. I don't want to say who he is. I want you guys and girls to hear from him. Budlu, welcome to our show.
Oh, you didn't want to say my name, but actually you said. But nevertheless, yes.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
Can you please tell our viewers who you are and who is Budlu? I call you Budlu, but they don't know who Budlu is. Who is
Okay.
Budlu?
Yeah, my name is Louis Fortune. That's my birth name. And I became a pastor in the church and a gospel singer. Grew up with the gospel. It was like mornings, like breakfast, supper, dinner, and everything.
Three meals. Gospel.
Gospel.
Okay.
So there was no time to change something else. So as a result, I'm a gospel artist.
Okay.
I don't change it for anything.
And you don't regret being
and
a
I
gospel
don't
artist.
even regret it.
Oh, correct.
So and as you said yes, I did travel some, and I traveled Ireland, and it was a good experience.
Okay.
It was a very good experience. And I can talk a lot.
I know.
But this is not a topic, you know.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure we are going to learn from that island experience as well. Guys and girls, we heard from him. He's Louis Fortune. He always fights with me the way I spell his name. I always spell it like a woman, he says.
Yeah.
My spelling is incorrect, but I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. So yes, we have Louis Fortune today, a gospel artist and a father, and he's traveled. I'm sure you're going to learn a lot from him. Remember, the aim of the show is for us to learn from one another. So guys and girls, please do not go anywhere. Chill right there as we'll be chilling with Louis Fortune after the ad break. Welcome back, guys and girls. We're still chilling with our guest, Budlu, Mr. Louis Fortune.
I'm comfortable with Budlu.
Budlu does
I'm
better.
comfortable with Budlu.
Budlu here he's an African man. He wants to be addressed as Budi, so I'll stick to Budlu. Budlu, tell me, are you married?
Currently, yes, I'm happily married.
I like that. Happily married.
Happily married.
I like that part. Did you get that, guys and girls?
Yes.
He is happily married. So whoever girl who was out there thinking they would ask me for his number, he is happily married. He just
there's something that says it's done.
It's done. Okay, so you are happily married now. I sensed something like before there. Is there a before this currently?
Yes, definitely there was before.
There was a before.
And you know what is that? Yes, I was married for before this one, and I did get divorced.
Okay.
There's a lot of things happen within life, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like sometimes people marry. There's two things that I always believe. You either get married because you love a person.
Okay.
And love comes with its own criteria and things. That's love.
Mm-hmm.
And you find real love if you follow the criteria of love.
Okay.
But then you also get married on the emotional side.
Okay. So
And that's the difference.
So there's love, there's emotion.
Emotions.
So there's so one of the two of the reasons why people get married. That's what you're saying. Can I ask you your current marriage? Let me not talk about your current marriage. Let me not talk about that. We are not here to talk about that. Your previous marriage that didn't work out, was it based on love or was it based on emotions?
You know, normally when you in an age of in your 20s or in your 70s, 18s, 20s, up to 30, you get to grow up and say, okay, I have to get married.
Yes.
And then you also get married for a reason of, I'm looking at my generation. That's
Yes.
Budlu.
Mm-hmm.
Budlu would look at his generation, how his generation comes.
Okay.
You look at your sons and your daughters, and you, because I also went to school, and then on school you've been bullied, the way you look. I
Okay.
don't know, the way you
Yes,
are.
the way you are.
The
yes.
way the length of your hair is,
Okay.
the way that you can't get the comb through your hair.
Yes, yes.
So you've been
yes.
bullied. So now when I have that type of perspective in life, you say to yourself, I must get a partner
Mm-hmm.
that my kids never going to have a problem.
Okay, all right.
You
That's
see,
that part.
so
I
now
get.
you see, then it comes into an emotional
Side of your
marriage.
reason of getting married.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
I
don't
get that
marry
part.
them because of I want to love and spend my time.
Mm. But you're doing it for your emotions. You're doing it for your safety, in a
That's
way.
right.
All right. So now, how long did that marriage last?
That marriage lasts about 27 years.
Wow. So how old are you? Don't answer that.
I don't say that.
Don't answer that.
I won't say that. I can't say that.
So it lasted for 27 years, which is a very long time.
It's a lot.
So which means something was happening good as much as there was something bad that led it to it breaking up. Can I ask a question? Is there children in that marriage?
Yeah, I've got 2 children.
Yeah, two children in that
Seven
marriage.
years.
Okay. So you were married for 27 years, you had children, and you gave up the marriage. May I ask why?
You see, the thing is this is normal that if you look at 27, you say to yourself, wow.
Yes.
And people look at your marriage also and say, are you crazy to get married? And now, just to go back, is to say you are married because of love or emotions or about any other things.
Mm.
You tend to stay in a marriage for years in and years out, then it's maybe on an emotion because of.
Okay, there's
You-
always
yeah.
that ulterior motive, that other reason. You're staying in this marriage
Mhm.
because of.
Because
Because from
of,
the
yeah.
beginning, you got married because of.
Because of.
I get you.
You see,
I get
so
you.
now you take all the abuse, both husband and wife take the abuse, whichever it comes,
Mm.
you take it because of, you have to stay into this marriage. Now you don't only stay in the marriage because of, you stay in the marriage, another of, is because of how the people see you.
Okay.
And your things in life, how people graded you. Now you have to stay there. But it is hell on earth.
You just mentioned two things that just dragged my attention now. You mentioned people, how people view you, how
Exactly.
people look at your marriage. You also mentioned the issue of abuse. I liked it when you say when it coming from both sides, males and
Mhm.
females. So can you say that abuse in a marriage, be it is coming from a male or from a female side, can you say it could lead to divorce?
I would say yes. And sometimes people will stay for so long, and then at the end of the day, only death separates them.
They made a vow.
Yeah, they made a vow.
Till death do
And
us
they-
part.
yeah, but you see, I want to state this thing very clearly. Yeah, on this thing, there's a scripture. The Bible says that whoever God, hear the scripture, whoever God puts together,
Mm-hmm.
no man shall separate. Now, you ask me why this is right. But I'm telling you today is this. If your emotions get you together,
Mm-hmm.
then it is not God that puts you together. Because the scripture says, whoever God.
Okay.
It
So
is not, I'm telling you, it is not where you say that the pastor has prayed on you, and you have been putting together by God. No, your emotions,
Your emotions
put you
put you
together.
together.
And God allows you.
Okay, based on your emotions.
God allows that to happen.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it is this type of problems that will then occur within the marriage, where these two partners was not actually meant for each other.
Okay.
Now he tends to live with it for years in and years out.
Trying out, hoping for thinking this will happen tomorrow, things will change, and all that. But Lou, the aim of this show is for us to learn. So you mentioned something about staying with someone for years, knowing very well, seeing that it's not working, but you still stay. What, according to your experience, not necessarily your own experience, but generally as well, what makes people stay in marriages that they see they are not working out?
There's if there's kids involved.
Okay.
If there's kids involved, you must understand is that we're thinking about the kids. How will they feel when you get divorced? Maybe divorce was knocking on your door years ago.
Okay.
And but because of the kids, because of
my kids.
And now you in the church, you understand yourself also about you have to pray about it.
Okay.
You know, if you grow up in church, pray about
You
it.
always believe that
And
I have to pray about
sometimes it
this.
it doesn't work.
Okay.
Now you think about the children and you keep on turning into. But in the midst of that, there's a calling inside of everyone, both of them. A calling of freedom.
Of freedom. You want to be free.
You want
but you think because of the kids, because of what are the people going to say, because of this, I'm depending on this person, and you want to stay in that marriage. You force yourself to stay there without you deprive yourself of your freedom based on all those things.
Exactly.
But now, can you say that would you recommend someone stepping out of the marriage if they feel it's too hot? You know what they say? If it's too hot in the kitchen, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Yes. If you feel it's too hot in the kitchen, is it a good thing to step out? That's one question. Secondly, you mentioned something about staying in it for the children. There's depression out there. I've seen people getting literally sick. I've seen people getting physically disabled, like they would get a stroke from stressing, they would get depressed, depend on antidepressants. Some people even die. So if those kids you are staying in this relationship for could know that my mom, my dad cannot work for me today because she is handicapped, because she had a stroke or he had a stroke, because he stayed in that marriage for me. How do you think that will make the children feel? How does that make children feel? Is it fair to base the basis of staying in a marriage that you see is not working for the kids?
But you know, you see, you mentioned in the previous thing, your previous episode you had about relationships and communication.
Yes.
And sometimes when things happen up and down, communications start getting, there's no more good communication.
Okay.
There's no more sharing your day-to-day problems or goodness or best parts in the day. The communication is breaking
down.
Slowly breaking down. And it breaks the relationship. You can stay with a marriage, inside the marriage, but it is dead that time already. Okay. It's a long time ago. There's no more marriage.
There's no more
but
marriage.
it's because of. Staying in a marriage because of the kids, it is a problem. Honestly, it brings a very, very big problem. Stay because of anything in the marriage. They say that you can be happily married, but there can also be a happy divorce.
Happy divorce?
Yeah. What I want to say is this. And sometimes we take divorce as a battlefield. It's supposed to be not a battlefield.
It shouldn't be a battlefield.
It should be a place also, because especially when you got kids, especially you got kids around you, and there is them. The partners have to come to a point where there's no more a battlefield.
Okay.
That's why I say there can be a happily divorce.
Okay. So,
So,
no, carry on.
so whenever you want to have a better divorce, revive communication.
Revive communication.
Revive your communication back. Bring back the communication within the relationship. That time it will be a relationship. It won't be married, but it will be a relationship. And a relationship can be, you can break it down in any time.
So when you talk about happy divorce, that makes me think that it means that you and your partner comes to terms, we agree that, okay, this thing is not working. Let's break it.
This is the XY reasons. Me and your daddy, or whatever, we don't feel like to be in it.
Okay.
So, because you must understand that if you just divorce, the effect that they have on the kids. Now, maybe your kids is at matric. Maybe your kids is just started school. And it will take them through their whole lives. So you
don't only communicate with your partner about this, you communicate it with your kids as well.
Unless you find common grounds of the divorce.
So for you to get to that stage of being able to communicate with your kids and all that, you need to have communication, right?
Very good communication.
Okay, guys and girls, wow, it's my first time to hear about happy divorce. I never thought that existed. I told you that we're going to learn from Butlu because he's been there, he's done that, he has bent his fingers and he's happy again. Let's go for an ad break. So when we come back, we chill more with him and find out more. I'm so much interested in this happy divorce he's talking about. And secondly, he still mentions again the issue of communication. So don't go anywhere. Chill with us more as we go for our ad break. Guys and girls, we're still chilling with Budlu. He says he wants to be Budlu.
Comfortable.
Before the ad break, he mentioned something that really got my attention. Happy divorce. Guys and girls, I never thought there could be a happy divorce. Budlu, talk to me. We were brought up to believe that divorces are ugly. You shouldn't divorce. You are coming from a church background. Divorce is just one thing you shouldn't do. You mentioned something interesting. Happy divorce.
Yes.
What makes it, when can we classify it as a happy divorce?
Yes, let's just get into what you say. We are brought up with a lot of things.
Yes.
And I think 2020 gave us another thing. So we are brought up with a lot of how people was thinking back in the days.
Yes.
We were comfortably stay into houses that does not look like this.
Yes.
We comfortably stay into wooden iron with like where I'm coming from. I stay in a wooden iron house for almost 21 years,
yes.
and it was wooden iron. But for now, I can't think that way. Even I've got 2 kids.
Okay.
So what I tried to say is that from a divorce that was back in the days, an ugly thing. We need to grow up to another segment of saying
saying
that this
divorce.
divorce can be a different thing.
Okay.
Because we believe what God put together, no man. But that age and the days, was it right? But for today, it changes.
It changes.
So because these days we talk about communication.
Yes.
Those days, then you may hit your wife.
And those
Then
days,
they
those
say-
days, what daddy says goes.
Exactly.
Mommy cannot say anything.
Now, they say don't spare the rod.
Okay.
You see, he hits you because he loves you.
Yes.
You know?
And you
Now,
and you enjoy it.
ladies
you,
enjoy
you,
that.
You miss it when he doesn't hit you
What can
anymore.
you do today?
I hear what you
You
say.
can't do
So what
today.
you're saying is times have changed.
Times have
We can't
changed.
be stuck into thinking
That's right.
divorce is ugly. Yes, it's not a good thing, but it could be a happy divorce. You mentioned before the ad break that if the couples communicate about it and if they communicate with their children as well. But what I want to understand is at which stage can we refer to it as a happy divorce? Or what could lead to a happy divorce? What are the do's and don'ts of happy divorce? If you can take me through that.
Let me take you to two people in the Bible. It was Abram and Lot. Sometimes we only think about divorce in marriages, but divorce in friendship, divorce in relationship.
There's
in
divorce
relation,
everywhere.
there's
And
divorce
any
all-
relationship
Now
has
look
a
at this.
divorce stage.
Now look at this. Abram have to choose.
Okay?
And Lot and Abram was close to one another.
Mm.
But God brings a divorce to them.
Okay.
He divorced them. They
They
separate them from
separated.
one another.
Because
So
divorce-
everyone have to choose now.
Mm.
Which, but you know what? Then Lot choose the best part.
Okay.
And Abram choose, doesn't looks like a marriage now. Abram choose the part that was not so good. But at the end of the day, Abram was the faithful and the blessed man in the sight of God.
Okay.
So what I say is this, there can be, but Abram and Lot, they had to communicate with one another.
Okay.
Because God was speaking to Abram and he said, Abram, hey, you have to leave Lot.
Okay. God was telling
Yeah,
Abraham,
so
"Leave
now the
Lot."
separation comes in. And they actually communicated. And it was a happily divorce because the one gets the best and he laughed at it. Abram knows if God promised him this it is only his wife that looks back and they become. So
Wow.
what I say is this.
Wow.
What do I say? I say if men and his wife gets together and really think, let both of us think about our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not only the one mother said the kids must go with the mother and the other one said,
Yes.
so no, let's both of us start there. Let's both of us think about our kids.
Okay.
It's not about us. It's about our
about the
kids.
kids.
So now you communicate. What do you think is the best way? At the
Okay.
end of the day, you will say that is the best. Now, if you come down to that total communication and the kids are comfortable, then you communicate that result into your kids.
Okay.
Now, the kids understand something going to happen.
Have going to happen. You mentioned that God talked to Abraham into saying, Abraham, separate with Lot. I'm sure there were reasons. There was something happening in their relationship that wasn't going so well. That made God communicate with Abraham and to advising him to separate. Let's come now to marriages. Here's a husband and a wife. What things could be happening in this marriage that could lead God to speak to one of the partners into saying, leave your partner because there's greener pastures on the other side. Okay, even if God doesn't communicate with the partner, but what happens in marriages nowadays, what are the factors that could lead in them separating and they would end up communicating about it?
You know, anything comes at your weakest point.
Okay?
Anything that comes when you are weak, when you're down, when you're out there, it comes at your weakest point. What do I say? I say this is that when your marriage is already in the weakest point, now you must understand what I refer to, whatever God puts together, no man can, whatever. So, here you got a marriage that is not maybe planned towards, maybe it's not planned towards what God wants it to be. It's not maybe you two supposed to get together. Maybe you're supposed to need another partner. But yeah, now then there's a thing that says, scripture says, wherever God builds, Satan will break it down.
Break down, yes.
Whatever it is.
That.
Now marriage is instituted by God. He brought on marriage.
Yes.
So whatever there's a marriage in, what's so called of marriage, it can be out of the church, in the church, but just the fact is a marriage.
Yes.
Now, the devil will come in any sorts of way to break and tear
break whatever God has
yeah,
built here.
even though it is emotional, but the word marriage, because God says, you honor His word. So honor not all of us. So I just want, so what I say is this, what breaks down when devil steps into it. Now, I normally say the man is a hunter.
Okay.
The man will hunt wherever he can get to. They hunt. Where you can be married, you hunt. You are a hunt. You hunt not only for girls, but you hunt for the well-being of your family.
You don't hunt only for girls.
Thank
so
you.
men do hunt for girls. You agree.
So what I
men
say
do
is
hunt
no.
for girls.
Yeah, just hear me good. I said not only.
Okay, but they
But
do
what
hunt
I
for
say
girls
is this:
as well.
but the hunt for the wealth and to bring the family on understanding.
Yes, because he is the father.
He is the
provider.
He has to be on the field. So what I say is this: now, when that slip comes in, then we call it cheating. Then he cheats on his wife.
Okay.
And
so cheating could be one of the reasons.
Cheating can be one of the reasons,
Okay.
and cheating is one of those biggest things
Okay.
in marriage.
Is there any relation to finances? We live in a world where we depend on money. Let's not run away from it.
You know,
Could the financial issues also contribute to divorces?
yeah, financial can. But what if you're into it, you will say that the love of money is
That's the
root.
Bible.
Yeah, the love of
the Bible
money is the
says.
root of all evil. But when you're in a relationship, if you're a godly relationship, you will say, wherever you go, I shall go.
Okay.
Whatever you shall eat, I shall eat.
So money or no money?
Money or no money, because you remember what I said at the beginning. If emotions follow you, you're going to ponder on money.
Okay.
But if love got you, if love got hold of you, you will say, wherever you go, I will go.
Unfortunately, we have to end it for today. But I have learned a lot from what you have said, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers have learned something as well. From us at Chilling at Black Queen, we know you are very busy, but you made time to come to our show and share your experience. We thank you so much for that. We have a little something that is the token of appreciation, so that when you're at home in this cold weather, you can have your hot beverages in that cup. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
I just want to close and say I like the chilling.
You like to chill.
Yeah, chill is, and this is so good. I like the name of the show.
Of the show.
It's called Chilling.
All right.
And I want to say to husband and wife, chill.
Okay, husband and wife, chill.
Chill.
Wow, guys
Why
and girls,
should you
you
not?
heard him.
Chill.
You heard him. He says, husband and wife,
Chill.
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 Chill. Wow, guys and girls, we heard what Budlu had to say. He again came up with the communication. He mentioned communication. He mentioned the causes of divorce, which is cheating, communication, and he mentioned as well that divorce does not have to be ugly. Divorce can be a happy divorce if both couples can come together and talk about it. And he also mentioned something very important. What is your marriage based on? Is it based on love or is it based on emotions? If it's based on emotions, at some point of your time, all that will fade away. By the way, that brings us to the end of our show for today. I know you have a lot to say. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to learn from you. So please go on to our Facebook page, Chilling with Black Queen, and on our YouTube. Subscribe there. Leave your comments. We'd love to hear from you. You have heard something that maybe like me, it was the first time to hear about very happy divorce. So from me, Black Queen, and the rest of the Chilling with Black Queen team,
Chill.
Stay blessed.